I'm curious to see how this turns out. This being my first print of Season 3, Episode 1 of Nerf News from the Owl Ranch. So, I took a break for a little while because there were a few problems. One, I was going through kind of a midlife crisis phase where I was turning another year and I started to feel like, well, Chris just isn't accomplished enough and he's not this enough and he's not that. I imagine, I make great stuff and I'm not accomplished enough? Come on, man. Why do I measure accomplishment like that? Well, yeah, it's easy to get caught up in that, especially when you're 44. Number 2. I started to figure, okay, what formatting do I need for the show? I should really do this different. I should really do that different. And I started to get obsessed with just all these little details. And it's really fun to film the show, but when you have to go and edit the show, because it's in 1080, and it takes a couple hours to edit, it takes a few hours to upload, it's a bit of a pain. So it's kind of like, when shooting Owl Ranch, it's kind of like this high and mighty wave. You're on this high and mighty wave when you're blasting at stuff in the room and drinking Jack Daniels or drinking a cup of Joe, And then you go to edit it, and it's like a down point of your evening. And then you see it, and then it's cool. But it's like this cycle, this emotional cycle. And third, I don't know, it was tough. So, I always wanted to do another Owl Ranch again, and do another season 3. And this time I got some help. My friend Nate Little, he gave me a brand new Panasonic Luminex camera. That's what I'm using right now, instead of the smartphone I usually use right now. And we're going to see how it is. And he also gave me some lights and some this and that for working on Blaster. We're going to turn one of these this year into a Chrono Mag. We're going to call it a Diva Mag. It's going to be really cool. I'll have it on my channel and everything else that I'm doing. So right now, let's talk about what's going on. This is being March, 29th, 2020. And I mean, we got, pandemic. So on top of this wave of just kind of like midlife crisis that I was going through, and that always helps you in midlife crisis. Just shoot things. It'll fix everything, Look at Stalin. Shooty, yeah. Didn't fix anything, but, he ruled Russia for a while. This coronavirus thing happened. And pretty much turned the world upside down. Even though it's a type of pneumonia, it's a type of respiratory syndrome, it's not an influenza, it's not swine flu like, let's say, the Spanish flu was. This is going to hit us like the Spanish flu. People out of work, people can't even go out. To me, that's easy. I've been a shut-in off and on for years. I can sit in my room for weeks, and I'm fine, especially if I got stuff to shoot at, It kind of curbs my insanity, But most people I know can't really handle it. And I started to think, okay, maybe I should just go back to the old format. Forget about trying to be so perfect. And I got a brand new camera and I want to try it out. And I've been meaning to try it out. I was going to come back on the 15th and then, well, Disneyland closed and I went through another emotional abyss. It was really, really tough, But we got lots of good people working on stuff. Today I got kind of inspired when I helped Heath Hale out with one of his designs. I won't say what it is, but I gotta say it's pretty cool. And helped him out. I was on Messenger and I talked to him, started to feel useful again. I started to realize, this is what Owl Ranch is really about. It's about this. We got people like Trip Miller who are taking the hammer shot and taking it to where it should be. much more capacity in the plunger tube, and not just the fat tube, but in terms of travel and barrels and everything else. So we could see some 150, 200 foot per second hammer shots. That would be rad. Because my main gripe about hammer shots is it's not as useful or as fast. Ooh, I hit that right on the door handle. As one of these. Mauser fire. Now imagine if you had a hammer shot, rear loaded, Mauser fire kind of velocities. That would be cool. That was my one gripe. And you're losing so much space to this revolver type format. So let me show you that really quick, because that is really awesome. And I want to show you that and a few other things. And then we'll talk about some of my resources that I've been using for the coronavirus. Some really good websites, and I will give you links to these websites. Facebook, it's a little hard because you have to be members of the board in order to see these things, but I will tell you which board and who said it. It's a little hard to link that, because even if you link it, some people aren't members, some people aren't stuff. But when it comes to videos, things, I'll try to be better at linking in the future. No promises. Owl Ranch is kind of one of those show as it goes kind of programs. And has kind of always been one of these shows you go programs. That's so intimidating, ain't it? I really do like this new night theme that Facebook allows for me, because I do post a lot of stuff. So here's what he's talking about. How he increased the forward action by cutting that, and he increased the back action. By doing that, you're increasing the stroke of the piston, and thus you're giving it more air, more velocity. He's also working on some other barrel designs too, and some other things. What he's going to have to do though, and I'll show you in a second, what he's going to have to do, though, is he's going to have to figure out how to take this crane out of here. See, here's the problem with a hammer shot. You have this crane, and to put this barrel, then that's about a 4 cc's he has this blaster, and it's going to get more. You're going to have to get rid of this crane so you can fit 5 barrels, 6 barrels, whatever you print for. Now, of course, you know, making something 3D printed that's 17-30 seconds on the inside to fit 17-30 seconds of OD brass, not too hard to do. You can glue that in, what have you. Making it rear loading by cutting this out on the other side, not too hard to do. But on the other side, not this side. Well, I guess if you're lefty, you would use that side. But, yeah. But at any rate, taking this and bolting this to here, but yet not have any play. Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. And of course, I'm not the biggest fan of revolvers. It's not really what I mod. It's not really what I do. But I like to see it when people do it, because I know how much of a challenge it is. To keep the air seal and to keep everything consistent. It's hard to do. It's really hard to do. So Matthew McCauley and Nate Cartmel, they worked on this meme. Yeah, Nate Cartmel. It was weird. I uploaded the first time and then I updated on the phone. It didn't, yeah. So do everything on a smartphone if you're working in social media. May thy aim be true. But we all know what it needs. We all know what it needs. It needs one of these. May thy aim be true. Yes, that's right. And as a matter of fact, I should go shoot this right now, shouldn't I? So this is the dart that hit the doorbell, right? For the Owl Ranch, I wasn't shooting at everything in the room at the moment, just because I'm a certifiable man. What can I say? Yeah. So at any rate, yeah, you know, I mean, keep these memes coming. I like them. They're fun. You know, I mean, let's hit my leather jacket. Ooh, and I know this has like a squelch for the loud sounds, so that is probably a lot louder than it sounded on the camera. Camera probably sounds like, you know, but it's really like pretty loud. And so I'll keep these memes coming. I love these memes. This is the title, the cover photo for Death by Nerf Blaster right now, which is one of my forums. Which I want to mention something about that. I have another forum. It's called United States Nerf Wars, and despite the coronavirus and, you know, Jeb 5 being postponed till they say about August, and a lot of other Nerf Wars not really happening simply because of the current pandemic, I have seen that go above 600. So Death by Nerf Blasters always stayed around 2,900, 2,800, 3,000, somewhere around there. You know, but, and that's cool because that's kind of the place where everybody knows my name. But United States Nerf Wars has grown, and it's pretty cool. So I think especially if you're, you know, Southeast Nerf Club, or you're one of these Nerf clubs, and you want to advertise wars, good for it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really, you know. And how are people coping with the coronavirus right now? I saw a stream by Lord Drac, where he was basically just sitting in there and modding and working on some stuff. He was working on a flywheel blaster that had kind of a M16 kind of 3D printed kind of like a carrier system. He was answering some questions. He showed off one of my blasters I gave him, which was a modified Pink Crush, about 19K. I saw videos by Jangular and Wacom 7, who also pretty much are doing kind of a series right now, where they are doing this new series. So check out Jangular's channel. It's pretty cool. Where they're doing kind of this chat, and they're discussing topics. You know, one of which was called Dartsoft. Should we call it Dartsoft? Well, we always have these different names. Like, let's say we have Dartsoft, we have Nick, we have High Speed Nick, we have Singapore Mod Stock. Which Nick and High Speed Nick to me represents kind of the type of gameplay and kind of the type of blasters. You see what I mean? Like Singapore Mod Stock is, well, Singapore Mod Stock. You know, it's taking a long shot and modding it. But the styles of the seal breaches, the darts, the magazines, Pac-D type magazines, you know, Katana type magazines, Talon type magazines, you know, you're using Prophecies, Cedas, Ceda. Yeah. I mean, they look a little better now, but I'm not really all that impressed. I'm still not very impressed. Um, I will have to see, but they sent a whole bunch of Cetas out to people and got a wonderful opinion. It's kind of like when people let their... I watch supercar kind of channels, kind of like Savage Garage and a few others, you know, and Vehicle Virgins, you know, and they will get a car that they get to drive, and they'll have all these nice and sunny opinions about them, and they get to drive them for one day and everything else, but they don't ever show you what is that like down the line, you know. What I find more informative is, like, one guy did a video where they salvaged a crashed Ferrari 812 Superfast, and it hit a pole at like 60 miles an hour. And the engine was still okay because it's a front mid engine. They had to redo the radiator, they had to redo all this stuff. I found that much more informative. It told me what the car's going to do in an accident. It also told me how easy is it to repair. Are all these panels like carbon graphite and expensive, or are they aluminum? Well, on a Ferrari 812, the aluminum, stuff like that. And I feel that a lot of reviews are like that, where you see them play with it for a few days or a day or two when they're shooting, but then you get it and it's like, you know. But of course, we all know that CETA is definitely, I think, may just cause some companies to bring their prices down. Let me show you. Well, I know somebody shared it to me and I can't find it, but basically the Dart Zone Pro, they're coming out with a new version. I guess it's called the 1.1 or whatever, and it's in red, Target red. Going for $150 mail order. Now, Target does like a lot of stores do, where you could, like Walmart, you can have a company, you can sell it through Walmart, you can sell it through there. It's like you're buying it from Walmart, but it's online only. I actually bought my new air filters that way, and I suspect that's what Dart Zone Pro is doing. Now, they want $150. Now, on top of that, they're calling certain zip codes not valid, this and that. It's real pain. I mean, yeah, it's not quite on the shelves. That's the real goal of a real blaster, maybe a Jet CETA or a Dart Zone Pro or a Prophecy or a blaster like that. Is that's on the shelf. You can buy it. You can use it. You see, we're still not. I wouldn't still quantify that as on the shelf. It's online only on Target, but. We're getting there. We're getting there. One day we're going to see this in sporting goods. It may take a few years. I said that back in 2016, okay? And we're still not there in 2020. Not only that, but no one's shopping in stores right now because, you know, coronavirus unhappiness. But at any rate, $150 for a blaster. It comes with 120 darts, a couple magazines, full length and short length and everything else. But you can get a CETA for $65. Now, I'm not a fan of CETA. I would take a Dart Zone Pro any day. As a matter of fact, other than modding a Retaliator, I hate to say it. I really would hate to say it. I do hate to say it. But I have to be honest. This is actually the best, in my opinion. For what it is. Yes, this would cost like $180, $200. Yes, it's quite a bit. Okay. Yes, it's clear plastic. Yes, it came out after the CETA. It came out after everything. Yes, they borrowed a few things, a few of my ideas I wanted to use for blasters. Mainly is back here with this stock, which is actually still not the way I would have done it. And using the extended spring like the Red October, which has now become common knowledge with Retaliators. You use a longer spring rather than that short spring that Retaliators used to have, and it has more power, and you cap it off to the back cap over here, and you put a little spacer in there, and you hold this back area over here. But Prophecy has its problems. It breaks. It cracks. It's brittle. It's everything else. I just like the fact that, you know, Monkey Monts donated this to me, and it's blue, and I still have it. I would not sell it for the world. It's kind of like, you know, Alan Torino, and he, OC Nerf, he gave me this for helping him move in a storage unit. Yeah. And he let me have that, and that's really cool. So I had like a blue, yeah, it's really, really bitchin'. So that's really cool, you know, but I think that that's going to influence his prices to go down. I think that's really cool, and I hope it does, because I really do want to see, like, a retail blaster in a Target, in a Walmart, in a Big 5 sporting goods. That's been my dream forever. So Ben Gazy, he's got a kind of a high voice here in this video. But what he did was he made a Mauser fire. And he made a Mauser fire, internet, what can you do? He made a Mauser fire that uses a full length of a mag adapter, a 3D printed mag adapter. So rather than making this out of a monocoque, fiberglass setup, he made an adapter that glues to it, cutting out the bottom of it and sew, which is kind of cool, especially when you put a stock on it, because you can kind of, me, myself, personally, I made it smaller profile, like lower. And if you look at, let's say, for example, the first version of Mauser Fire, you look at the first one, and it's using a PAC-D mag, and it has even a lower profile. So even lower profile on the magazine feed. But let's face it, if you're using a magazine's still going to stick out of the bottom of the thing, right? So it doesn't really matter, So he worked on this blaster, and I saw a lot of cool things. I gave him a lot of really cool advice on it and everything. But it's really cool to see people actually realizing that these are really great blasters, a really great project, I personally like the epoxy fiberglass monocoque construction of these, which means the whole thing holds together as one piece. And you're literally weakening this to nothing without the magazine. And he figured out how to do it. Look at that. Isn't that just so cool? I think that's just so rad. What I like about it the most is that it actually does make more sense with the rifle stock. And this is a blaster that if you mount high enough, you can get it into, I would say, mid-prophecy levels. You can get into CETA levels, you know what I mean? So it's a very useful blaster, especially if you've got a holster rig. As you guys know, Gavin Fuzzy made the Spamp, and this is useful because this is based off of a Falcon Fire, but it's 3D printed, and it can break, but it doesn't break that easy. I haven't broken it since I broke it the first time, but I like it because it's O-ring, it's a little faster action. You can put brass on it, it's really cool. And it made use of a blaster that, if you see in some of my videos, I actually gave up on, But it's really cool that people are seeing this potential. And in my advice to Hasbro, if you want to make like a Dart, I doubt they do, but if you want to make like a Dart Zone Pro line, something of that caliber, you can do it. How do you do it? Well, it's really simple. Start with a Sharpfire, give it a magazine like that, and make it stuffing. Yeah, so breach everything. It can be done. You guys want to know more about it? Hey, give me a call. Drop me a line. My email for business inquiries is right on my page. So knock yourself out, man. I mean, I am totally fine with that. I am totally like, Hasbro needs my help. Well, my magnets need my help. I just dropped my down blaster, but. Yeah, it's really cool to see stuff like that. And even when you're at a hobby, you hear all these mentions of you. Hey, look, I made this Merlin. It's really cool. Hey, I'm working on this. Or I'm working on that. And I was out of it for like 6 months, and people still mention me. And I just can't believe, I just can't believe the amount of praise that I still get. And do I deserve it? I don't know if I deserve it or don't deserve it, whatever. But it really made me happy, especially in these months where I wasn't doing anything. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Here's a really good concept for the Ultra Darts, although I do not think it is like Dart Zone Pro worthy, Prophecy worthy, CETA worthy. Look at that. So to make them shorter and then use these heads, okay? And he used just your normal standard Nerf heads. Well, I'm tempted to try this trick with PAC-Ds. I mean, yep, that is a whole washed, cleaned, and completely unwaxed 500 canister of PAC-Ds. Yeah, I still have a ton of PAC-Ds. Not only that, I still have about 700 that I use that are already glued. Yeah, so I have plenty of dart heads. But I think this would really work good if you had a spacer in the middle to more regulate the darts, and you were using actual silicone darts, rubber-headed darts, that sort of thing. I think that this would work a lot better. But, this might be an answer right here. Of course, what I think of the Ultra line, man, I just want to get a hold of an Ultra and just smash it like Pete Townsend smashes a guitar. Dead serious. Another thing I've been pretty impressed with lately is Mazda. Oh, my keyboard! It's just decided to try to commit suicide, but I saved it. We've always had that problem with the Alpha Trooper, okay? The EAT. We've all had that problem. What is the biggest problem with this blaster? Does anybody know what it is? It's the fact that this is a little wire. And it's not a wire that goes straight back to your sled. It's appended to one side of your sled, okay? So because this is appended to one side of your sled, it has one little hold on it, it's one little wire. So as soon as you go above, I'd say 8 kilograms, big problems, okay? This is about, I think this has got an 8K in it, but yeah, big problems. It will bend. You can even feel the play when you unprime it. See what I mean? It's a pain. Well, thank you for dry firing. I appreciate that. It's a big pain, you know. I like the stockade stock on this. I think that works really cool. But I can never get the power out of this. Well, they use a drain pipe, a nickel plate drain pipe. Like that uses a brass drain pipe. This uses nickel plated. That's really cool. And they basically make a carrier that goes into your bolt action SL and moves in there. Now, I don't know what this is. I think that can go into a pick and air rail. It would be nice if this could go into a pick and air rail. And then you can put just any kind of front end like this on it. That would be pretty cool. Especially if this was a little bit more swept forward and you could put like a worker stalker, because that's my favorite. Ooh, that's my favorite right there. That's my favorite. I like that, okay? Yeah, so it solves the whole problem that everybody has with the pump grip. Now, this is 3D printed, but we all saw the answer from Nerf Easy. What is the real answer to a lot of these 3D printed weak parts? LS nylon. And we're going to see a lot more stuff from Nerf Easy this year, I am positive. We're going to see a lot more from Ezekiel, you know. And good news for those who are actually thinking about getting the Nerf Easy Stampede kit, which I do want to get, actually. Go ahead, check it out. Joshua Steinett, Death by Nerf Blaster, posted this. Now, of course, we know how overpriced these were. $70 for a Stampede, where a lot of people can get a used one for $30, $35, $40, you know, not that much. But $70. Finally, the demand has caught up with the price, and now it's on sale at your local Target for $35. 35 bucks, friends. Look at that. Yeah. I mean, really, you know, I think it's Target. It's Target. You see, it's like, yeah. So now you can get the Icon series Stampede, and you can get it for $35. Then you can get the Nerf Easy Stampede kit. I don't know how much it is, but it definitely won't cost you more than $150, $200 now. And you can actually get yourself a good Stampede. I mean, think about it. Full auto Stampede. I mean, not flywheel, but actually going through a sealed breech and everything. I mean, I saw, like, for example, Basic Nerf use one. Use them on a Stampede. It wasn't a steel breech Stampede, but it was a pretty good Stampede nonetheless. You got lots of parts for it. You got lots of stuff for it. It's just a blaster that fell out of favor with the flywheels, and now it's kind of coming back. But this is a big thing. Big thing, you know, and I really think that this is a big deal. Because you see all these builds, all these flywheel builds cost $200, $250, $300. If you can get a Stampede build for like $120, $150, you beat the curve. Let's see how our buddy Nerf Easy is doing, anyways. Let's see how he's doing. Oh, man. Look at this. 2 bucket. Wow, what does this do? Does that drop around it every time you fire? Whoa, that's weird. Okay. So there is a lot of knockout stuff coming out lately, and a lot of other things coming out lately. I haven't really taken a look at his page for a while, and the postal service is going to get delayed and everything. So yeah, we may have to wait a little while. Well, you're going O-ring crazy. You see this? This is like O-ring crazy here, man. But you know, I'm always searching for O-rings, and well, he doesn't believe in searching for O-rings either. Just have them. But yeah, it's been a while. He was in the development phase a while back for the Stampede kit, and I think it is out. But you can see he's working on a lot of Hot Shock stuff out, and he's got a great Chronomag kit. I have a really good one. He actually gave me one, and it's really awesome. He's got all sorts of really cool stuff. You can see he really does put a lot of work into what he does, and he puts a lot of effort into the 3D models and everything else. Along with detail, this is a guy that if I had a company, I'd hire him. I would personally hire him. I would hire him. He'd be one of my designers. He'd be driving a new BMW, that sort of thing. And he does pay really close attention to color matching. He gets it the best he can. I was really impressed with the 3D printing of like the Chronomag kit. I thought it was really, really awesome, And there it is, SLS nylon pushers. That was his answer for the smaller diameter I was suggesting for the Chronomag. And he did it, and it does. It can do right alongside with mine if you tune it up just right. It's a little different because you're working with 13mm barrels now, but he can do it. It's not that hard. And I think for a lot of these structural parts, SLS is going to come out. I think if you did it like a zoo shell at SLS and you got a primer that can prime like nylon and then paint over it, or even better, Cerakoting. Whew, that would be really cool. Remember when those shells were $150? Yeah, ridiculous. I told the president of Jet, I said, dude, the CEO of Jet, I'm like, dude, we should lower the price on that and make it more feasible for people. And it did. It went down to about $60 a shell, and it became much more feasible. I personally think it's my favorite long shot shell. I think it's better than the worker shell. I think it's better than a lot of other shells. I mean, I do like the long shot shell itself, but I've always felt it just feels just a little boxy. The grip feels a little thin on the front. You see like OC Nerf work on this over here, and a few other things that make it a little, This, for a person who likes small little blasters, like I do, size effective stuff like I do, this is really, really cool. And that's the whole thing. So let's go through real quick. Let's go through some COVID-19 coronavirus resources I wanted to show you because I feel that they're very useful for our everyday needs, and they update most of them in real time, or they update every day. We got a couple videos, and I got a couple of resources. So let's start here. This is medcram.com, showing you basically all the real information, everything. So this is Medcram on YouTube, and he talks about it. He talks about the stories, prevention things, rumors about it, everything. I've been watching this channel and keeping up to date. This and Peak Prosperity. There's another channel for you. But he goes by yesterday's stats, always good because that avoids it being empty. And it shows everything else. Look at this. New York, 38,000. This morning, it was around 29,000, 30,000 cases. And how do I know that? Because below this guy's links here are some of the best tools you can see. You can even see a live coronavirus updater on my notebook right there. This is hooked to, but yeah, and that's actually more up to date than the Johns Hopkins University site. So here we have, and I'm going to post these links on here because they are important links. Okay, so this is the Johns Hopkins map of coronavirus cases, recovered, deaths, what have you. Okay, and you can kind of see certain trends. With this. Okay. Excuse me. Alright, so at any rate, you can see that the East Coast is just on fire. The West Coast is not doing that great either. But the East Coast, this is just, it's hitting like wildfire. And what I like about this most is the map is zoomable. Look at this. It's zoomable, and it gets better than zoomable. Watch. Look at that. Boston, Philadelphia, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, just being hit. I mean, just in Hudson, New Jersey, 771 cases. New York City, 29,776 cases. Now, I filmed this, of course, the day before you see it, because it takes hours to edit this film. So it's going to be higher. We're already up to 30,000 deaths. So it says, oh yeah, the flu kills 25,000 people a year. Well, guy, it's been only a few months, and we're already up to 30,000, for one. For two, it's a pretty severe sickness. And for three, it is a really horrible way to die. A lot of these people that die of the flu, they either have cancer, or the AIDS or something, and they're on their way out. I would say as much as half. But when a 17-year-old kid in Lancaster can die because he doesn't have health insurance and he doesn't have the coverage, and he can die, being the youngest one in California to die yet, that really shows you that we're not just talking about the vulnerable. We're talking about anybody here can die of Corona-19. And, you know, it gets in your lungs, everything else. I have my usual sinus funk. I mean, I just cough because I have my air filters off. My sinuses go nuts from the outside. Sinuses and everything. That's another downside of filming Orange. I have to turn all my air cleaners off. And there's 3 air cleaners, a humidifier, that's 3 fans, plus one of the air cleaners are ionic, so that's 4. And if I keep the ionic on, it messes with mics and everything. It really sucks. So I'm like, right now I'm like struggling. It's the end of the episode, and I'm kind of like, you know. I really hope you guys watch this part of the video, because it is really important. Okay, so this chart right here, I want to show you. Roy Labs, Roy Labs stats. Okay. I want you to see this. This is Roy Labs stats. Okay. This is a really good map because it is updating all the time. As a matter of fact, United States updating right now. Okay. 197 cases and 5 deaths. You know? I mean, just right now, just as I do it, it's updating in real time. It has a little sound. I don't have the sound on, but it has a little sound that goes do-do-do-do-do-do every time it updates. It tells you when the China update is, the South Korea, Spain, everything. I basically decided, this other screen usually does nothing. I'm just going to have this on. Now I have like 2 of them. It's really crazy. But yeah, has all the cases of all the countries, everything. And sadly enough, United States is number 1. That really sucks. But, and I don't believe China numbers at all. I think that number is way higher. But, you know, you got 1 million people that die, 2 million people that die. Do you really want Russia to know about it? Especially when they're wearing, like, you know, the president's wearing, like, you know, hazmat suits? Which lends to a little bit of suspicion in my eyes, but that's another video. But as you can see, yeah, you got the trend right here. I wash my hands all the time. When I shop, I hit everything with hand sanitizer. With like hand sanitizer wipes. Going into the cart and going into the trunk. And I've only been out since, I would say, last Wednesday I was out. Yeah. So I've been in this home pretty much, you know. I talk to my friends on Discord, and I hate Discord, but you know what? I think it's important to keep morale and to talk to your friends. I mostly do it for them. But yeah, you can get this nice handy dandy map, and it shows you everything. It shows you the top territories, states. New York City now 52,410. So almost half of those numbers is New York State. That's insane. Of the 120,000, 52,000 is New York State. That's insane, guys. I mean, you know, but here, you know, MedCram, Peak Prosperity, it gives you, you know, real facts, real numbers from doctors, everything else that works, and not like this guesswork, not this calling it China virus, not saying it's like the flu. No, this is not the flu, guys. It is a novel virus. It is contagious. We have no immunity to it whatsoever. I have a form named HEPA that takes down everything to 0.1 microns, which is actually smaller than the virus. I'm actually freaking out to have it off right now, you know, and I'm in my house, okay? I don't have people over at house. When I go to the store, I stay away from people. Preferably at night, I go to the store, and people still cough on stuff and things, so do clean everything. And the economy is going to take a dump for this. That's for sure. So at any rate, the first episode of Season 3, Episode 1, I think I'm going for 1 a week. We'll see if I do more. Right now I promise about 1 a week that I'm going to do. This is Season 3 of Nerf Music Out Ranch, Episode 1, the season premiere. And it's good to be back. It's good to talk to you again. It's good to, you know, go on and shoot stuff and drink liquor and coffee. Well, I didn't drink any liquor this episode, but we'll see about others. Yeah, exactly. So, basically, yeppers. Have a good day. Stay safe. do modding, do stuff, play board games with family, and do check out those resources I put in the end for Corona-19 stuff. It's really, really cool. I'm going to post links to that here. I'll even post links to this video because you gotta have a cat orgy where people are sniffing lines of catnip, right? I mean, geez, what would the world be like if we didn't have depictions of cats sniffing catnip like it's lines of catnip like it's cocaine? So don't you go changing, or I'll find you. Ah! What is gravity doing to me today? I don't understand. You know? Just craziness. And don't piss off people. They will do this to your guitar. They will mess it up. They'll put it in a big thing of kitty poo-poo, and they will tear it to pieces. Yes. Got tricked by a Selma Hayek doll. Can you believe that? And this is what happens to this guitar. This is what you get for trying to screw around with young kids. Yes! King turd! No! Alright.